I recently participated in the Game Maker's Toolkit 2018 Game Jam. For those of you who don't know what a Game Jam is, it is an event where you attempt to make a video game following a given theme under a certain time limit. In this case, the time limit was 48 hours, and the theme was genre without mechanic. What this means is that we are supposed to pick a game genre of our choosing, but remove one of the core mechanics of that genre. For example, the platforming genre, a game like Mario. You make a game like that, but remove a core mechanic such as jumping. This was done prior to the jam in a game where you played as a chicken that laid bombs to gain vertical momentum, instead of jumping. Another example would be a fighting game where you can't move. In my case, I had a very simple game idea that I planned to make in less than a day and call it good. However, I happened to join the Game Maker's Toolkit official Discord server, where a lot of people were talking about the upcoming event. There was a channel, which is a subsection of the server, dedicated to people trying to find a group to work with. I've made games in groups before, but I preferred to go at it alone. Nonetheless, I decided to join in on some fun comments and posted, if we're all on the same team, everyone wins. Along with the joke, I made a new Discord server for this new group of everybody, and before I knew it, I was leading one of the biggest groups in the jam. Oops. I was in too deep now. I had to lead this group of individuals to victory. Before the jam started, I was assigning roles to people based on what they thought they were best at, whether that be programming, art, sound effects, music, writing, or general game design. By the time the jam started, there were about 15 people on the team, where most teams had 1 to 4 people on them. For reference, over 3,000 people signed up for the jam and over 1,100 games were submitted. When the theme was announced, everyone started pitching their ideas. Most of them were not that good. Some even suggested doing the examples given like a platformer without jumping. A decent suggestion was a stealth game where you try to attract everyone's attention. An example scenario would be a kid simulator where you're in a grocery store or something trying to annoy every parent but avoid capture from your own. But in terms of overall likability, people ended up picking my suggestion. That was a driving game where you can't see. You'd have to maneuver based on the sound of the GPS, your passengers, and the environment around you. It seemed like a doable, creative idea for the jam, and so we got started. First, we had to pick what game engine to make our game in. The choice came down to the 2 most popular game engines, Game Maker and Unity. I am extremely experienced in Game Maker, and one other guy knew it well too, but the majority voted for Unity. Because of this, I let those with more Unity experience take over the programming. Then, I created a Word document that detailed everything the game needed at low levels of detail. Organization is very important, especially when it comes to large groups. With everyone being assigned something to work on, we agreed that we would meet up every 12 hours until the game was submitted. I assigned myself to sound effects, music, and some voice lines. This normally happens in projects like this, because I'm typically the only one with any experience making music. Anyways, the first 12 hours was basically a shotgun approach of everyone just working on some aspect of what they were assigned. It actually started really strong, huge group, organized, everyone working together. I felt sort of proud. The first 12 hours comes around and we meet up and see what's been accomplished and what still needs to be done. I made the music and had found free classical music that I could use online, wrote down all the sound effects that need to be completed, and the voice lines were nowhere close to being done because the writing group had only wrote the lines for one person so far. In terms of programming, we had a car that moved and hit obstacles, sort of, with a crappy navigation system. Sadly for the art people, there wasn't much to be done, since the player is blind. However, we still needed a menu and several icons that would be used to indicate sound direction and source. At the 24-hour mark, I had not accomplished much more as I was trying to organize other people and I slept 5.5 hours. Art Now had a basic image of what would be displayed during the game, and writing and design agreed that this game should be done in a light, humorous manner. I'm not sure what happened with programming, but some progress was probably made somewhere. Writing wrote a little more. There was one other guy on music and a separate guy on sound effects, but neither of them submitted anything, nor would they. Our dedicated voice actor still hadn't gave me anything concerning the voice lines or sound effects he was supposed to produce. And then it was hour 36. I took it upon myself to see the music and sound effects finished. The dedicated voice actor to voice lines and do some sound effects dropped out without submitting anything. The art team hasn't responded in 12 hours, the game still isn't playable, at least the writers have written some lines, although some had to be scrapped because they involved females and none were to be found during these 48 hours. I ended up voicing 2 people, and 2 others also voiced 2 people each. For one of them, that was all they ever contributed. For the other, he also helped with some general game design and writing. I got my brother to make a menu screen because the art team was flaky, and the art team did make several icons, the art team now consisting of 1 person besides my brother. Every asset had been given to the programmers. They just had to get the game working. There were 3 programmers. One of them had been gone for several hours, and another had to leave a few hours before it was due. Around 15 minutes before the deadline, the current game was given to the group, and the last programmer left. Needless to say, this entire 40 hours was pretty hectic, and it was now extremely crazy. 2 separate people were attempting to build the project so they could submit it. 10 minutes pass, 5 minutes remaining, and one of them says it crashed on them. The other guy got it built, but he's having browser issues. The time comes and passes, and he messages in the chat that he missed the deadline. However, I knew this was going to happen. In the final few seconds of the jam, I submitted something. It was an empty text file. I told him to send the game to me immediately, which he did. I had heard in the official Discord server that once you submit a game, you can edit it whenever you want. This whole jam was built on the honor code, just assuming you wouldn't keep working past the submission time and to not use assets and programming you had made prior to the start of it. I go and edit my game, my text file, and change it from that to the actual game. We were saved. The host was allowing a few other people to submit late, so I didn't feel that bad about it. And now I get to finally play my own game. The culminated work of what ended up being around 8 people working to make a game for 48 hours. Please enjoy this footage. Turn right. Good, look at you! Sorry. Turn left.
Wall to the right, seriously, what is your issue? Stop, there's a wall right in front of us. Are you blind? There's a wall on the left. You could get us killed. I thought I was supposed to stop. There's a wall right in front of us. Are you blind? Supposed to be the blind one here.
I was not recording audio at the time, but I was laughing my ass off. It was garbage. Crap, just a horrible game. Almost every asset I've made wasn't even used. Every single art asset wasn't used except the menu. This nearly unplayable black screen is the product of 8 people working for 48 hours. That's 384 hours for this. Hilarious. Not to mention...
There's a wall on the left. You could get us killed. I thought I was supposed to stop. There's a wall right in...
Overall, it was a fun experience, and it started out amazing. Meeting up was a tad difficult because there was a difference of up to 8 hours due to time zones, but we made it work. Many people bailed on us, but I did enjoy myself and it was a learning experience. It does sort of suck that I could have made what we wanted to see all by myself working in Game Maker during those 48 hours using my brother's art assets, but if you want something done, do it yourself. I haven't spent much time browsing the submitted games, but there are 2 I would like to show you. The first is an adventure game where you cannot see, but seeing has been replaced by echolocation. I thought it came together very nicely, and it looks nice to see. Fairly short, though. The second game I'd like you to see, no, witness, nay, behold, is a #Battle Royale. This is your typical Battle Royale, where people jump from a flying vehicle onto an island where everyone tries to murder everyone. Props to this guy for making an authentic online Battle Royale with up to 100 people. You can guess the mechanic this game lacks. Watch. So yeah, that was my Game Maker's Toolkit's Game Jam 2018 experience. I'll do another Game Jam at some point, but maybe just one other person to assist me. Links to the games are below.